This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. Good morning. Coming up this hour, film incentives, Blue Origin backlash, and another bullet train stall. But first, a brief reminder of the importance of your financial support to Houston Public Media in this final Friday of our spring campaign. Public media funding is at risk, not just from one place, but from all over. Cuts at the national level and economic pressure are making it harder to sustain independent journalism. But Houston Public Media is different. We are funded mostly by you. That's why this moment matters. Now is the time to stand strong for local programming, and right now, your donation during Houston Matters will be doubled. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887. And here with us this hour to encourage your support, Houston Matters producer Mincho Jacob.
Good morning, Craig. It's great to be with you this morning. You know, conversations about incentives for local filmmakers, the future of space flight, and all that you'll hear this hour are made possible because people like you invest in public media. And right now, your donation is doubled, but only for a short time. So that $100 donation becomes $200, $500 becomes $1,000. Supporting stories that helps you become a better Houstonian, a better neighbor. So make your gift right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or you can call us 888-909-0887.
Public media stations across the country are facing threats to funding, and whether that's from policy change or economic challenges, what we can rely on is you and your support to protect free access to trusted, community-focused conversations. Help keep this station strong. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And we're here to help you explore, reflect, and better understand this city, this region that we share. This doesn't just happen. It's fueled by you. So don't forget, right now, your donation to Houston Public Media is doubled, but only for the next 45 minutes or so. So give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org, and you can call us at 888-909-0887.
And we'll check back in with Mincho in just a bit, but let's dig in now on our first topic today. You heard it in our newscast: incentives for TV and film companies to invest in productions in Texas. The state Senate's passed SB 22, which would offer those incentives, though not without a conditional amendment. But in an era of hyper-partisan politics, it seems worth noting when a bill passes with strong bipartisan support. To tell us more about it, we are joined now by Katie Cregan-Rios, Executive Director of the Houston Cinema Arts Society, a nonprofit that supports local filmmakers. Katie, good morning.
Good morning, Craig. How are you?
I'm all right, and yourself?
I'm doing well. Excited to talk about this bill.
Yeah, what exactly does it call for?
So this bill calls for a massive increase in production incentives here in Texas, which is a huge win. It would increase the current allocation from $200 million to $500 million. It would also lock in that $500 million rate for the next 10 years. A big problem with the previous bill was that the incentive amount would change every 2 years, which made it difficult for television shows and big budget film projects to really plan around a Texas incentive. So this gives production companies 10-year guarantee on that incentive rate.
This proposed bill would still need to clear the Texas House. We should point that out. Should it, though, who would be eligible for this money and how would they get it?
This money, any studios, any productions are eligible for this money. If you spend $1.5 million on a project in Texas, you're eligible to receive 25% back. This is a big change from the previous bill. If you want to know more about how to access this funding, how to receive this funding, the Texas Media Production Alliance is hosting an open house here in Houston next week to go into the details on how to access this funding. But any project that spends 60% of their budget here in Texas on Texas workers is eligible for this funding.
$1.5 million or more is not a small amount. Does this give a little preferential treatment, maybe intentionally so, to regional or national productions to get them to come here versus local filmmakers receiving these funds?
I think it is a huge goal of the bill to get national and larger studio projects to come here, but that stimulates the economy in film all the way down. It helps our folks who are producing locally as well. So.
We heard in our newscast that there's at least one amendment that came along with this. Can you tell us about conditions on these incentives?
I am a little bit concerned about this family values clause and the encouragement of faith-based productions. I'm not sure yet what this will mean and what they're planning to enforce. Family values feels very vague to me still, but I think we'll see how it is discussed in the House, and we'll see how it actually plays out in reality.
Do we have a lot of filmmaking or TV production here in the Houston area these days?
We had an amazing run of the Netflix show Mo, produced, written, and acted, starred by comedian Mo Amer, who's a local Houstonian, A-Leaf proud. And that show did amazingly well on Netflix, has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and really showcased a lot of amazing Houston locations. It was really a love letter to Houston. So I hope that this incentive will bring more projects like that really show off our amazing city.
This would be state money. Are there any incentives available from Harris County or the city of Houston that could augment some budgets?
There is not currently a Houston local incentive. We're the only major city in Texas that does not have one. Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and El Paso all have a local incentive that can be stacked on top of the state incentive. I am hopeful and optimistic that with this new state incentive bill that the city of Houston will see the value on creating a stackable incentive and having it offered to studios.
I see how this could, of course, benefit studios who come in. What's the benefit to the rest of us who would, I imagine, in part pay for this through those sales taxes?
Absolutely. $1 in money spent on a film production or spent on a tax incentive creates $5 in revenue for the local economy. This is hotels, this is restaurants, this is transportation and security, technology, manufacturing, tons of local workers. It's really all-encompassing, the economic boost that having film productions in your city can create. It also creates tourism. We've all seen what the Breaking Bad TV show did for the city of Albuquerque in creating it an amazing tourist destination there for the city. So it really does affect everyone economically in a great way to have strong film productions in Houston.
Do you have a sense of this bill's fate in the Texas House?
I don't. With some of the new things that have been added onto it, I'm not exactly sure how the House will respond, but they are voting next Wednesday, and I'm eager to know. I'm eager to see what happens.
Katie Cregan-Rios is the executive director of the Houston Cinema Arts Society. Katie, thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Craig.
And ahead this hour, this week's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and advice for Houstonians moving from one home to another across the metro area. Stick around as Houston Matters continues. This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen. When you support this program, you make space for deeper conversations that help you understand your neighbors and your community. Right now, public media stations across the country are facing threats to funding that could impact us right here in Houston. You can't take that sort of funding for granted, and that is why we rely on generosity from you. Right now is the time for you to stand up for your access to local independent media. Protect it right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887. As we welcome back Houston Matters producer Mincho Jacob.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to News 88.7 and to Houston Matters. Public media is facing threats from shifting budgets, economic hardships, but here in Houston, we've got something stronger, you, our community. This show depends on community support, and right now, your gift is doubled, but only for about the next 45 minutes. Make this moment count at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
We invite Houstonians from all walks of life onto this program, and your gift invites even more people into the conversation. If you've learned something, discovered something, simply been inspired while listening to Houston Matters, right now is a great time to give because your contribution is being doubled. Take advantage of this match from Houstonians challenging you to support this service. Go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or give that $10 or $20 or $30 a month gift right now at 888-909-0887.
And monthly donors are the reason we can plan ahead. And right now, that monthly donation would be doubled for an entire year. $10 a month becomes $20 a month. That's twice the impact for fact-based news. Start your monthly gift today at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
I heard our GM, Lisa Shoemate, earlier pointing out how we don't chase clicks here. We've been mentioning that from time to time. What we are interested in doing here is providing you with depth, with context, with clarity about what's happening in Greater Houston, how events statewide, across the country, and around the world affect us here, and why it all matters to you. You help fund this local journalism when you give. Keep your community informed and double your impact right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or 888-909-0887.
And about 80% of our budget comes from this community, and most people give $20 a month. If you start a monthly gift right now, it's doubled for that entire year. You don't have to give a lot to make a big impact. When you support Houston Matters, you're helping ensure access to local voices continues for everyone. So give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
When you support Houston Matters, you are saying yes to more than just good radio. You are saying yes to a stronger, more informed Houston where everyone can access information, share ideas, and engage in real dialogue. Be part of it right now and have your donation doubled right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
And if you're already a member, thank you so much. Right now is the perfect time to give a little bit more because it's doubled. You have the power to ensure Houston Matters is always here, bringing voices from across our community, be it artists, business leaders, students, educators, and activists. Your support keeps this microphone open. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org. Click on that donate button or call 888-909-0887.
Not everyone can give. We get that. It's okay. This service is here for everybody anyway. And we don't want one person or just a few people to carry the weight. We thrive when many people give what they can. That's how this service works. Tens of thousands of Houstonians support us financially. Join them with that $10 a month gift or whatever works for you. Whatever that amount, remember, it's being doubled right now, but only for the next 40 minutes. Support us right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And some of our listeners choose to give at a higher level, $100 a month or more, and become members of our giving societies. That kind of support helps us to deepen your connection to the city. And right now it is doubled, just like everything else. So visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
Thanks so much for listening and for giving. On Houston Matters, we bring you thoughtful perspectives. We lay out the facts. We provide context and depth, and then we leave it to you to determine what to think and do about it all. In a time of uncertainty and a world rife with misinformation, this kind of connection is more important than ever. And right now, again, your donation's being doubled, but you don't have long. Give now. HoustonPublicMedia.org or 888-909-0887. And Mincho will be back with us a little later in the hour. Up next, though, we discuss ongoing backlash over Monday's all-female celebrity-infused Blue Origin flight. Yet another blow this week to the still-not-realized Houston to Dallas high-speed rail project and a bookstore's unique approach to moving one book at a time. We discuss in our regular Friday conversation the good, the bad, and the ugly as Houston Matters continues. A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Jessica Brown, co-director of Station Theater, Charles Kuffner, who writes the Off the Cuff political blog, and Ernie Manous, co-host of Hello Houston, weekdays from 11 to 1 here on News 88.7. Jessica, Charles, Ernie, welcome to Houston Matters.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Greg.
Panel, Monday's all-female celebrity-infused Blue Origin flight was marketed by the Jeff Bezos-owned space tourism company as historic. It was received differently by much of the public. The 11-minute flight up 62 miles and right back down in West Texas conducted no research, but did what it set out to do, garner publicity. Not all of it positive, mind you. A lot of criticism on the old socials centered on singer Katy Perry kissing the ground after landing, a move that could be seen as a bit more tone-deaf than maybe she intended, considering astronauts recently landing back on Earth were actually in space for 8 months. Some critics also noted how money spent on the flight could have been spent most anywhere else, and how calling it an historic crew because they were all women was, as one commenter put it, more embarrassing than empowering. CBS's Gayle King, one of the participants, challenged the backlash, in particular finding characterizations of the flight as a ride as sexist and irritating. A celebrity-studded all-female Blue Origin 11-minute flight gets attention, but not necessarily the kind those involved wanted. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Jessica Brown.
I had a feeling we were going to start with me, the one female on the panel. I love it. I think that it depends on how you focus on it, because I think that the celebrity aspect of it is not necessarily the most interesting part of it. You know, when you look at some of the folks that were on the crew, you've got Amanda Wen on there, who I actually saw somewhere recently. I'm going to guess it's probably TikTok, knowing me, that, you know, she originally set out to be an astronaut, but she had a situation where she was sexually assaulted, and so she went on to start a nonprofit that supports sexual assault victims and makes sure that their rape kits are saved. And so, you know, she put her career on hold to be able to do this thing to support women. And now she's getting to go up into space. And I think that's really the fascinating story, because there are some people who legitimately, it's amazing that they got to go. I agree that it's a bit tone deaf, that, you know, we fall and kiss the ground whenever we land. But, you know, just from my own experience doing things at Astroworld, like whichever the one was that went straight up and down, I did the same thing, because I'm not into this like go straight up and come back down thing. You know, I think that it's kind of a little bit of both. I'm very excited for the people that got to experience something that they really, really, truly dreamed of. But maybe let's make it a little bit less dramatic.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly? Charles Kuffner.
First of all, I want to push back on the notion that any of these women were crew. They didn't do anything in the execution or of the flight. They were passengers. Mm-hmm. I don't want to over-dramatize anything here, because there's already been enough of that. And, you know, if we accept that they're just passengers, and I agree with Jessica that some of them were cool to have on this, why not have more people like that? I mean, what exactly other than publicity is Katy Perry bringing to this?
She did sing "What a Wonderful World" while they were
and flying. You know, I'm not, this thought isn't original to me, but you wonder if she sang it as Katy Perry or if she sang it in her imitation of Louis Armstrong, which just really makes it that much more horrifying to consider.
Based on the audio, I think it's not clear.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with the idea that there's so many other ways that you could bring attention to space travel. You could bring attention to women in STEM than this particular stunt. I mean, they went up, they came down. These women got a view of the Earth, which I genuinely understand is, you know, enthralling and possibly perspective changing. Great. I believe Gayle King was saying, well, one of her criticisms, well, have you been to space? Well, no, Gayle, none of us can afford it. That's part of the problem here. I kind of hope that Blue Origin succeeds as a company so that we can have an alternative to SpaceX, which, you know, sucks up a ton of government money and just gives Elon Musk more power. Not that I want to give Jeff Bezos more power, but I'm happy, you know, if he takes some of it away from Elon, that's at least a bit of a win. I would like for there to be more competition for this, you know, given that NASA is only doing so much of it themselves. It would be better if NASA did all of it, but that's not the world we live in. But I don't see how this advances any of their goals. They've done this before. They just had a different crew this time, a crew that attracted attention. Ultimately, I don't see the point.
Okay, good, bad, or ugly? Ernie Manous.
I would have to give a soft good. because I think the problem lies within the way they presented it. You know, it was basically a really cool tourist trip up into space with some very qualified and some very successful individuals getting this opportunity to share, which they are going to bring back now to their followers, to their viewers and listeners, about how wonderful it is to understand that space is out there and we need to pay attention to it and look at it and learn from it. Selling it as this benchmark in astro studies and space science, okay, maybe a bit of a reach there. While it happened, I was getting ready to come into the studio. So I got in and took a shower. I have a TV in the bathroom. And it took me the same amount of time to take my shower as they went up and came back down. I got out of the shower, they were back already. And so I thought, well, at least they used their 10 minutes better than I used my 10 minutes. So all said and done, it's great. I know Katy Perry sang. I heard them say, oh, hold on, Katy Perry singing. I heard a muffled couple words, a couple boom, boom, boom. I thought, did she bring a boombox with her? What is going on? A beatbox up there? I don't know. Good for them. I'm happy they had that experience. Same way I felt when William Shatner did it. You know, good for him. I felt the Shatner connection felt a little more, I don't know if authentic is the right word. I could see why we all went along for that journey. Gayle King and Katy Perry doing it, I don't see the same heart swell of, wow, that's kind of cool. That's where I sit at. So a soft good.
Panel, the long debated but never realized Houston to Dallas high-speed rail project suffered yet another blow Monday when the Federal Department of Transportation announced the termination of a planning grant for Amtrak that had just been awarded 7 months prior. The Transportation Department, the Federal Railroad Administration, and Amtrak all agreed to end the grant that was designed to help move the project forward. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says the project is a waste of taxpayer funds and a distraction for Amtrak, the U.S. National Passenger Railroad Company. Duffy argues the Texas Central Railway project was proposed as a private venture and that if the private sector believes this project is feasible, they should pay for it. As Houston Public Media's Adam Zuvanich reported Monday, Texas Central struggled to raise money necessary to get the project going and has also faced pushback from rural landowners along the proposed route. The Houston to Dallas bullet train project's slim prospects just got slimmer. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Charles?
Let me push back just a little bit on the premise of the question. I saw a number of different news reports, and some of them included this quote, and others did not. So, for this from the Fort Worth report, Kleinhens Capital Partners, Inc. of Fort Worth, the lead investor in Texas Central, said it was, quote, proud to have stepped in as the private sector sponsor of the Texas high-speed rail, and today's announcement is good news for the overall project. We agree with Secretary Duffy that this project should be led by the private sector, and we'll be proud to take it forward. This project is shovel-ready and will create significant new jobs and economic growth for Texas. So, if you are, I guess, an executive in Kleinhens Capital Partners, Inc. of Fort Worth, it's good. I don't know if I believe them, but, you know, after all this time, I'm kind of conditioned to expect bad things to happen to this because literally every 6 months or whatever, I see a news report saying that they're hoping to achieve some milestone that I thought they had achieved a year ago. At this point, I probably could have walked back and forth to Dallas any number of times, you know, and I would love for this thing to exist. I would also love for, like, you know, the university's light rail line to exist. But I feel like some kind of rail project Sisyphus here in that we will never get there. It could be approved by voters. Funds could be appropriated by Congress. It doesn't matter.
If there's a boulder in the way of the train and it has to push it up a hill to get us to Dallas in less than 90 minutes, then I think they're doing it wrong.
I mean, fortunately, there aren't any hills between here and Dallas, but I get your point.
You got to love a good Sisyphus reference. Good, bad, or ugly, Ernie?
I first challenged the idea there are no hills between here and Dallas because I did the AIDS ride from Houston to Dallas on my bicycle. And that last day, there was lots of hilly things we had to go through. But anyway, I digress. The train project, I always thought I wasn't in favor of it until recently when I started thinking about it more. And I thought, you know, what a great idea. 90 minutes here to there. I like the idea of it. I know that wasn't necessarily your question. So then I look at the funding issue, and if I'm not mistaken, it was like $64 million for what was basically still another feasibility study on it. It's like, how long do you have to look at this and see if it's going to either do it or don't do it, So I kind of am happy we're not putting whatever amount of millions of dollars behind this to still just be talking about it. And if the private sector is ready to step up and pay for it, that's great. It makes me worry then what the fees are going to be to do it, because the only way it works is if it's still affordable to take this train back and forth. And when you get there, because you're not going to have your car with you, you're going to have to find ways around up there. So I think a lot of people will be like, I could just drive and have my car.
There will also be stops along the way, at least one.
Oh, there are?
So it won't be 90
Station.
minutes.
Oh. Well, if it's only one stop, I'm okay with
just one
it.
stop. And, you can always get Uber or whatever. Or,
Yeah, when you get there.
So
but keep in mind
which you
the
might do
cost.
if you flew to Dallas, too.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly, Jessica?
This is just the perfect opportunity for a callback, and I'm just going to bring up our Buc-ee's car again. And what this means is that our Buc-ee's car may never happen, and that's very sad.
She wants a car
I
on
do.
this rail line that is
Just
basically
Buc-ee's.
a Buc-ee's.
Because the idea was
I
that,
support this idea.
right? Exactly. Because the idea is that if you are not on your road trip, you miss the whole Buc-ee's experience. So my suggestion when we talked about this the first time is, you start having sponsors for different cars. You have a Buc-ee's car, you have a this car, you have a that car. So you have lots of opportunities.
A Starbucks, a Walgreens.
Exactly.
The whole experience.
So there's, in addition to the investors from Fort Worth, there's definitely some possibilities of making money there. So, they're welcome to take my idea. It's okay.
I say Texas Central and Kleinhens Capital Partners, Inc. of Fort Worth. Reach out to
There
Jessica.
we go.
She's available to be hired.
Honestly, this started off as kind of a joke, and I'm like, you know what? It's really not that bad of an idea.
Oh my God!
Because
the conductor could be a little Buc-ee's guy,
Right?
In the little Buc-ee's outfit. There.
Yes, all mascots all the time.
I love it.
How would we get them up the aisles, though?
You have to make
if they're
wider aisles. for
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
I mean, you're a big picture person. Don't worry about the details.
This is the way that my brain works.
Let
You
Klein
do
so and
something.
so and so and so figure it out.
Exactly. You do something for comedy, and then you're like, wait a minute. That's actually not terrible.
Finally, panel, a Michigan bookstore moved down the street this week, one book at a time, with the help of a book brigade of more than 300 people. They formed a chain stretching from the old location to the new one and passed each book in alphabetical order, mind you, to relocate Serendipity Books in Chelsea. Owner Michelle Tuplin put out a call for volunteers to help her move to a larger space just 350 feet away. The human chain between the two buildings moved 9,100 books and other inventory in less than 2 hours. Tuplin told NBC News people really consider independent bookstores theirs. It's really part of the community, and they have ownership. A human chain moves a bookstore down the street, a single book at a time. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Ernie.
It is fabulously good because, like in our very first story about Blue Origin, it brought attention to the fact of these bookstores. Yes, they probably could have moved it differently. Maybe they didn't have the money to move it differently. But the whole concept of moving a bookstore one book at a time, what a great feel-good story, and what a wonderful way to support independent booksellers that are still out there in this world, and we need to support them.
Coincidentally, Katy Perry was in this chain, and she kissed every book as it went by.
Did she sing, though?
No.
She might have sung what? Who wrote the Book of Love?
Book of Love. There you go. Good, bad, or ugly, Jessica.
I agree with Ernie completely on this. Anything that can bring attention to local booksellers, I think, is absolutely amazing. And I think that it's kind of interesting that this comes at the time, too, that Barnes & Noble announces they're adding 60 more locations, So what this says to me is that, us nerds are winning, y'all. Those of us who love to read books, we got this. But I love the thought of the visual of one by one carrying a book from one bookstore to the other. Because, when you walk into a bookstore, you don't really have a clue of the number of books that are in there. But if you're seeing them passed one by one and you sit and you watch that for hours, you're like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to end? I hope not. So I absolutely love this idea. I think it was a great PR move on their part.
Good, bad, or ugly, Charles?
I'll make it unanimous. I mean, this is quite possibly the nerdiest thing I've ever heard of.
I love it.
It's just beautiful. And I really, as I think about it, I hope someone videoed the whole thing and uploaded it to YouTube.
It is available.
It'll get millions of views as some ASMR thing. I mean, can you,
That's
just
a good
think about
point.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
How long is the video? Do we know?
Well, I don't know if it's the complete video of all 2 hours. It may just be a few minutes of it. But
I mean, you can edit it, speed
Loop
it up,
it.
whatever.
You won't know the difference.
Time lapse, whatever. The point being, people are going to want to watch this. It's beautiful all around.
Jessica Brown is co-director of Station Theater. Charles Kuffner writes the off-the-cuff political blog. Ernie Manous co-hosts Hello Houston weekdays from 11 to 1 here on News 88.7. Jessica, Charles, Ernie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
This is Houston Matters. I'm Craig Cohen, reminding you that public media across the country is facing threats to vital funding, and that includes this station. Here at Houston Public Media, we are holding the line thanks to you. Your support helps shield local programming like Houston Matters from economic uncertainty and policy shifts. Protect the platform that uplifts Houston Voice right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887. And back with us again, Houston Matters producer Micho Jacob. Micho.
Good morning. It's great to be with you this morning. Look, public media is under pressure. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Between policy changes and economic strain, stations like this one are feeling the pressure, and that's why community support matters more than ever. And right now, your donation is doubled, but only for the next 22 minutes or so. So help keep Houston Matters going strong at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
There's a lot of noise out there. Houston Matters offers something different, a space where ideas are explored, guests are asked real questions, and Houstonians have a voice. That only happens because you support it. And for this hour, your donation is being doubled. So take a minute to give at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887.
And if you've never donated before, this is a great time to start. A monthly gift of $10 becomes $20 a month for a full year. That's steady support for the conversations that you count on. But this opportunity to double your impact won't last very long. So go right now to houstonpublicmedia.org, give us a donation, or you can call us at 888-909-0887.
Your $100 gift becomes $200, but this opportunity to have your contribution doubled ends in the next 21 minutes. Give now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And if you're already a member, we really appreciate it and thank you. Right now is the perfect time to give just a little bit more because it's doubled, because you have the power to ensure Houston Matters is always here to help you understand what's happening in your own backyard, events, culture, policy, and how it all connects to you. That kind of programming depends on your support. So give now at houstonpublicmedia.org. Click on the donate button, and if not, you can call us at 888-909-0887.
In the next few minutes, we'll hear from Houston area experts with advice for Houstonians preparing to move and maybe downsize when they do. It's one example of the many conversations we have on this program all the time that connect you to your life and your community, that help everyone across Greater Houston. It's worth supporting right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or 888-909-0887.
And we don't know what's ahead when it comes to national funding, but we do know this: Houston Public Media is stronger when our community shows up. And right now, your donation is doubled for just a few more minutes. So don't miss this chance. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
During hurricanes, blackouts, winter freezes, other emergencies, this station does not go dark. We are here providing real-time updates and local voices that help you stay informed. When you support Houston Matters, you are supporting that kind of resilience. Be part of it and have your donation doubled right now. Give $10, $20, $30 a month, more if you can afford it. Again, right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887.
And maybe you want to do a little bit more. A one-time gift is great, but a monthly gift makes the biggest impact. You can also join our studio society with a $100 a month donation and lead the way, whatever works for you. And for the next 19 minutes, it will all go twice as far. So give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or call us at 888-909-0887.
And we will check back in with Micho once more at the end of the hour. Just ahead, advice for Houstonians preparing to move around town in the coming months. Stay with us as Houston Matters continues. We were talking earlier about a bookstore that moved to a new location down the street, one book at a time, with the help of hundreds of volunteers. If only it were that easy to move here in Greater Houston. Whether you're physically moving your own stuff or hiring movers, it can be draining and expensive. Some offset that cost and workload by downsizing. Houston Matters producer Joshua Zinn has more.
In trying to find a little know-how on the process of moving, I first sought out someone who's been helping renters find new places to live for almost 3 decades. Ty Counts is a local apartment broker and realtor, and he's got some general advice for finding the right movers.
I can tell you there's a lot of Craigslist scam things, and I have a few horror stories of people who went really cheap and got burned and literally had their furniture held hostage. So I think you find a reputable moving company. I love Yelp. I believe in the Yelp reviews. So I think that's one place you go. One company that I'm very comfortable recommending, and I don't get a kickback. I don't get paid by them. But 3 Men Movers, super nice. They text you ahead of time. They give you a real quote based on what they're moving. How many stairs? What level are you on? Like, they're very specific, and they'll give you a quote. So find a reputable company. And also, they probably should be a member of the Better Business Bureau. So if there are ever any complaints, you can see it and then how they resolved it. I mean, things go wrong, but they need to be able to stand behind their company and do the right thing. Truly reputable companies are going to send you like a list, a sheet, and you're going to fill it out. I have 1 big couch. I have 2 big armchairs. I have a dining table with 6 chairs. They're going to want to know, what are we moving? And how many floors do we need to go up to get your stuff? And how many floors do we have to go up at the next place? So to me, that's the first thing, is if they just send you a quote like, we can move you for $1,000, but you don't know what you're moving. Like, that just seems like a red flag to me. And then, the rule that we all know, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. They should be insured. Like, it's not inappropriate to ask them to see their general liability insurance. Fly-by-night scam people will not have that kind of insurance. And again, the internet's pretty clever. If someone's a scammer, then usually you're gonna see a bunch of bad reviews for them. And then this sounds terrible, but they should be big enough to sue. And what I mean by that is, if something goes wrong, then you should be able to redress that, right? But if it's, Fred and his 2 brothers, and they give you a P.O. box address, and there's not even really an address for the office, I mean, these are all big red flags.
And beyond just moving your stuff, sometimes you might find that you've just got too much to move. So what then? Ty has also dealt with that issue a number of times.
Okay, so I literally yesterday went to a woman's home who is in a 4-bedroom house, and she and her daughter are going to move into a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's full of stuff. It's just full of stuff. So what I told her was, you need to make 3 piles: throw away, give away, and move, right? I don't want too much in the landfill, but the truth is some of that is not really givable. It's just she's got to throw it away because she won't have room for it. I do think there are services, like different churches might have rummage sales, or there may be some charity you could give it to, or called the Coalition for the Homeless. I think there's something called EAC, Emergency Aid Coalition, and and they may actually have a truck to come get it. And there's always Goodwill, right? Now on Goodwill, if you're giving clothing, it needs to be clean and probably on a hanger. They don't want crap, right? They don't want dirty clothes. But Goodwill I've had estates where I had some stuff left over that wasn't really worth sending to auction. And I called Goodwill, and they came and they picked it up. And also there's Purple Heart is another charity.
All right, so that's some general, bigger picture kind of advice, but I also wanted some insight from somebody who regularly helps people go through their stuff and make their lives a little less cluttered, whether it's for a big move or just reorganizing. Judy Igwe-Eni is the owner of Rescue My Space.
When you know you're going to move, make sure you start the decluttering process a few months before, so that when you do move, that day you move, it's efficient and you're not stressed out, because moving already is stressful. So when you start months prior, you are already ahead of the game when it comes to moving, even when you have movers to pack your stuff. You start in one zone and you start small. So for example, if you're starting in a closet, start with the shelf and dedicate 15, 30 minutes to it. Once you're done, You can go on doing something else. So once you do move on to another section, you have that part done, and it just makes the process so much smoother.
How do you decide what's worth keeping? How do you decide, oh, I really need to keep it? Because I know there are different methods for this. I know there's the Marie Kondo thing.
Right.
Like, how do you figure that out?
I always say, ask yourself this question: does this item fit with who I'm becoming? Fit with like my new self, or that's going to be in this new move? And it makes it a lot easier to determine what items does or do fit, because this question is a lot deeper than like, did I spend a lot of money on this? Does it bring joy? Even though, yes, hold on to things that bring joy. I do believe in that. But everything doesn't bring joy, because there's some things you actually need that don't bring joy, but that does go with you in the move. But yeah, just ask yourself, does this fit with who I am becoming in this new move, in this new space that I'm moving into? I feel like that makes it a lot easier to choose.
One of the things I think about is furniture.
Yes.
Especially if you've got big, heavy furniture. Some of it may not all come with you. Some of it, what do you do? What if you have an old couch that you don't know what to do with? You're not really going to keep it. You want to get a new one. There's a problem with dumping in the city. You can see couches on the side of the road all the time. How do you get rid of your old furniture?
Oh my gosh, there's so many companies out there that pick them up for free. Like Pick Up Please. I work with them all the time, and you just call them up and let them know, hey, I have this furniture piece that I no longer want, and they will pick it up. I think Salvation Army also does that. They'll pick it up too. But there's companies out there that will do it for free. And or Facebook Marketplace is great. Create a post, say, hey, I have free furniture. There's going to be a lot of people who will pick it up. So do not dump your furniture, please. No, we don't need that. There's people who actually will benefit from your old furniture. So yeah, call these companies, Pick Up Please. I love them. They serve veterans, which is great. Or, create a free post on Facebook Marketplace, and people will pick it up. So, yeah.
One thing about all of this that a lot of people may be thinking about is just the expense of moving. It's expensive to hire movers. It can be expensive to do packing. It can be expensive to have consultants, all that.
Yes.
Some people may not have the means to do that. Do you have some general advice for how best to save money in the process of either downsizing or moving or reorganizing your space?
If you have access to your new space, just move some of the items yourself in bits and pieces. I know sometimes for homes, when you do close, you have like a set time, I guess, where I think you do get access to once you close, you get access to your home. You have the keys. You don't necessarily have to move out of your old space then and there. Just do it gradually. And when it comes to boxes, you don't need boxes. You can use trash bags. Throw your items in trash bags, label it accordingly, label everything, and take it to whenever you do move. You're saving on boxes because you don't have to pay for boxes, because boxes can get pricey, especially when you need a lot of it. But trash bags are great, especially moving your clothes.
Well, and you're talking about boxes. I know that some places you can just step in and say, hey, do you have any leftover boxes? Are there places in particular that you think are particularly good for that?
I know in the past, we've moved in the past, when I was much younger, we would go to grocery stores and ask them, Walmart, hey, do y'all have any old boxes? And typically they would give us some. Friends, I know a lot of friends who've moved who have old boxes that they're just holding on to. Just ask around. There's, again, Facebook Marketplace. I know I'm promoting them for whatever reason, but there are people out there who are giving away boxes because they don't want to throw it away because they're good quality boxes. So just look around for free boxes. They're out there.
What are some of the common challenges that you find people face when they're figuring out, okay, what do I do with this space? How do I reorganize or downsize or whatever? What are some of the common issues that you run into? It's
usually, where do I start?
Yeah. Just kind of that paralysis at the beginning.
Because it can be overwhelming looking at all the stuff you have. So, like I said, start small. Start early, but start small. And start with the hard part, the heavy emotional stuff. I feel like once you get over that threshold of these items having sentimental value and you're able to declutter it and downsize them, then it makes it a lot easier to handle the non-essential items.
So let's say you're not moving, but you're still wanting to figure out, do I have too much stuff or do I need to reorganize? What is the point at which you make that decision? How do you know when it's time to do something about the space?
For sure. When you can't find what you need in seconds, We create systems that help people find what they need in seconds. And if you can't find what you need, it's time to declutter. Yeah. In seconds, that is.
Right.
Because I'm all about not wasting time because time is so valuable. So as long as you can find what you need in seconds, you're good. But if you can't, it's time to declutter.
Yeah.
And when you're walking over things, it's time to declutter.
You're stepping on stuff on the floor all the time.
Yes. When you're exhausted, when you go into your space, when you're overwhelmed, when you look into your room, when you are just, you feel depleted when you're in a room, it's time to declutter. Yeah. Because you have too much stuff and your brain is taking in too many things.
What are some general tips, advice, any other things we haven't talked about that you feel like would be important for people to keep in mind in this process?
Yeah. Just, when moving, you are moving into a new space. So you essentially are becoming a newer you. So as you're decluttering, look at it as you're removing old baggage. You're removing a version of you that no longer exists because now you're walking into a new space. Whether you're moving into a new space because of a positive thing or a negative thing, you are still transitioning or transforming into a new version of you. So removing the items that no longer serve you, that no longer speak to you because now you are becoming this new version, I would say that's what you should look to when it comes to decluttering, because decluttering is the most important part when it comes to organizing, and then maintaining it is the next important part.
Judy Igwe-Eni is the owner of Rescue My Space. We also heard Ty Counts from Apartment World and Monarch Real Estate Group. They spoke with Houston Matters' Joshua Zinn. In these final minutes of Houston Matters today, I want to remind you that right now, funding sources for public media are under threat. And it's important to remember, Houston Public Media is built on something stronger: community. I mean, you. We provide you and everyone across Greater Houston with free access to local perspectives, stories, and conversations so you can stay connected to your community. We also rely on your voluntary support. And for the final 5 minutes of Houston Matters today, your donation is doubled. Support your platform for Houston's voice right now at houstonpublicmedia.org. You can call us at 888-909-0887 and give your $10 a month gift there. And once more, we say hello to Houston Matters producer Mincho Jacob.
Good morning. It's great to be with you this morning. And this is it. Your donation is doubled, but only for about 5 more minutes. $200 becomes $400. That's 2 times the support for stories and conversations that reflect Houston. Don't wait. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org. Click on the donate button there. And you can also call us at 888-909-0887.
This program isn't just about interviews and reports. It's about real people, real lives, your friends and neighbors. Houston Matters explores and reveals what it means to call Houston home, and you play a part in ensuring this program's future. Right now, again, your gift is being doubled, but just for the next 4 minutes. Don't miss this chance to support the local voices you value. Give that $10 a month gift, $20 a month, $1,000 or more if you can afford it right now at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887.
And monthly giving is a really powerful way to support a station. It's easy, it's automatic, and today that donation would be doubled for an entire year. $10 a month becomes $20 a month. So supporting this station is an everyday affair, and this opportunity doesn't last forever. It'll end when this hour does. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org, or you can call at 888-909-0887.
Monday on Houston Matters, you'll hear about the Battle of San Jacinto and the Turtle Bayou resolutions as we delve into Texas history. You'll hear advice from Houston area veterinarian Dr. Lori Teller. We'll discuss the Houston Rockets' first-round NBA playoff matchup with Golden State and the Houston Texans' needs heading into next week's NFL draft. Your gift right now supports those and all the other conversations you hear on Houston Matters, and it's doubled right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
And if you've already given, thank you so very much. You're a part of what makes this show and this station run. If you haven't given yet, this is the perfect time in these final minutes of this hour. Your support will go twice as far. Your $100 gift becomes $200, but you only have about 3 minutes to do that. Take that step right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
Here's the reality. Public media funding is never guaranteed, and that's why we rely on you. Community support is by far our most reliable source. And right this minute, your support is being matched, doubled. Help protect programming made by Houstonians for Houstonians at houstonpublicmedia.org or 888-909-0887.
And if you're in a position to do more, this is the moment. A gift of $1,200 a year makes you a part of our studio society. $5,000 and up joins our affinity council. These gifts go really far, and today they're doubled. So be a leader for Houston storytelling. Give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call us at 888-909-0887.
You've heard us say it. Your donation is doubled. That ends in the next 70 seconds. No pressure, just a real opportunity here. 2 times the impact for the conversations you won't find anywhere else. Give now before the hour ends at houstonpublicmedia.org or call 888-909-0887.
The stories, the reports, the conversations, analysis, and reflection you hear every day here on Houston Matters connect you to your fellow Houstonians. This is the platform worth supporting. Help make sure it continues. Please give right now at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887.
Next week, we'll talk about public health and adult literacy. We'll meet a folk rocker and an opera star and learn about a local adaptation of an award-winning film. That's just some of what you're going to hear. It starts, though, with your support. You make it possible for us to bring you this service, to sustain it. Your friends and neighbors have supported Houston Matters and Houston Public Media for years, and we thank them, and we thank you who have given. We thank you for listening, and now one last chance to double your gift. Don't wait. Go to houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call 888-909-0887, and thanks.